my fellow Jamaicans, brothers and sisters across the African continent, distinguished members of the international community, and most importantly, Captain Ibrahim Traore, President of the Transitional Government of Burkina Faso. I come before you with a heart that is heavy, but also open. I come not to speak as a man defending himself, but as a leader willing to acknowledge fault. And I come not to diminish my office, but to honor it by admitting a truth that all leaders at some point in their journey must face. Sometimes we misspeak, sometimes we misjudge, and sometimes we must apologize. Several weeks ago, in a live broadcast, I used the word dictator to describe Captain Ibrahim Traore.
So hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So guys, there is an ongoing issue. We cannot call it our, but there is an issue concerning the president of Burkina Faso, President Ibrahim Traore, and the PM of Jamaican. You have seen that the PM of Jamaican has come out and he has offered a bold apology to the president of Ibrahim Traore. You know, the PM on his speech, he has said that president of Burkina Faso is a dictator. So he has come out and he has apologized. So guys, we have seen many people are backing up the president of Burkina Faso because you have seen the changes that he have made for his country. You know, president of Burkina Faso got his seat through military takeover, and he has really changed, and he have really did a good job to the people of Burkina Faso. No other, I think many African have not reached his level. He has really done a big change. So the PM of Jamaica calling him a dictator brings a lot of concern. I've seen that many Jamaican are complaining because the wife of the PM of Jamaica is the speaker, and you have seen lately that she turned off the mic of a opposition who was addressing some points in the con. She turned off the mic so that the person could not produce some good points. So the PM calling the president of Burkina Faso a dictator, I think that was really bold. So guys, I have two videos here. The first one is the Ibrahim Traore speaking out, and the other one guy is the PM of Jamaican providing the apology. So guys, stay tuned, watch the video till the end. I'll be back with some comment.
My brothers and sisters of Jamaica, this is Ibrahim Traore speaking to you directly from the heart. I am the president of Burkina Faso, your African brother, and I want to tell you this whole story in my own words. No fancy parts or numbers, just like I'm sitting with you on a Kingston Street corner, talking simple and real. You know what happened with that 48-hour ultimatum from your Prime Minister Andrew Hollnes? He said I had to apologize for my speech or face big trouble. But I did not apologize. I stood strong, and now Jamaica, you are rising up. This is a long message for you, over 5,000 words, because you deserve to hear every single detail. I will tell it step by step, in simple English, like a story we share over tea. Listen close, because this is your story too. I came to Jamaica as a friend. Your government invited me to speak in Kingston. I flew across the ocean from Burkina Faso, my home in West Africa. We are brothers, you and I. Africa and the Caribbean share the same blood from our ancestors. The chains of slavery tried to break us, but our spirits stayed strong. Bob Marley sang about one love, and that's us. I landed in your beautiful island, felt the warm breeze from Montego Bay, saw the green-blue mountains. It felt like home right away. But before I left Burkina, I read about your struggles. It hurt my heart. Hospitals with no medicine, mothers dying while giving birth, schools where children sit on the floor with no books. Young people, 40% without jobs, bright minds driving taxis or leaving the country forever, roads full of potholes, rain flooding homes, farmers getting no fair prices, foreign imports killing your local food, and the biggest pain of all, corruption. Billions of your Jamaican dollars disappearing every year, contracts given to friends, ghost workers paid who don't exist, leaders building mansions while you eat from empty plates. I read the reports. Last year alone, over 100 billion Jamaican dollars lost to scams. Hospitals were given $1 billion, but 800 million went to builders who took the money and ran away. Schools promised 500 million, gone just like that. Youth training programs funded, but where is the money? I cried when I read this, not for myself, but for you, my Jamaican family. So when I stepped on that stage in Kingston, I was not there to give a polite speech. The auditorium was packed. Over 1,000 people, journalists with notebooks ready, young leaders with fire in their eyes, civil society fighters who have battled for years, and politicians in their suits looking important. Music played, "Welcome to Jamrock," and the crowd cheered. I took the microphone, my heart beating strong. I looked at all of you and spoke from the soul. Brothers and sisters of Jamaica, I said, I come from Africa, the land of our ancestors. We share the chains of history, but also the fire of freedom. Today I see your beauty, the beaches, the music, the strong people who never give up. But I also see your pain. Corruption is Jamaica's #1 enemy. Your leaders sit on thrones built on your backs. Leadership is not for stealing, it is for serving you, the people. Hospitals crumble because money goes to foreign banks. Schools rot because leaders buy yachts. Youth are jobless because funds for training are stolen. Jamaica, you are rich. Gold in your hills, sun for solar power, brains for technology. But leaders treat your nation like their personal shop. They sign papers and poof, money vanishes. Contracts to cousins, ghost projects that never happen, while you go hungry. I say enough. Rise up, demand your money back. Build your future. Africa stands with you. In Burkina Faso, we fought the same fight and won. You can too. Truth is your weapon. No apology for speaking it. The room went completely silent. You could hear the air moving. Then some politicians shifted in their seats, uncomfortable. Their faces turned red. One old member of parliament stood up and walked out. Another followed. Then 10 more. The crowd gasped. But I did not flinch. I smiled, because I knew the truth had hit home. The young people jumped up clapping and shouting yes. Journalists typed as fast as they could. Outside the hall, it started right away. Phones lit up. People shared clips of my speech. From Kingston markets to the rural hills of St. Anne. My words spread like wildfire through WhatsApp, radios and street talk. You heard me, Jamaica, and you felt it deep in your hearts. The next morning, everything exploded in your parliament. Prime Minister Andrew Hollnes called an emergency meeting. Lawmakers were yelling at each other. Some shouted, "How dare this foreigner insult us?" Others whispered quietly, "But he is right. We all know it." The air was thick with tension. Hollnes went live on national television that evening. He wore a sharp suit, his face like stone. Cameras rolled, the whole nation watched. He pointed at the screen and said, "Jamaica, no foreign leader comes to our house and insults our government. President Traore has maligned our sovereignty and our democracy. He has 48 hours to apologize publicly and retract every word. If not, he will face serious consequences. We may recall our ambassador, cut diplomatic ties. You will see. Jamaica stands tall." Outside the TV stations, crowds booed. But in homes across the island, people had mixed feelings at first. Some nodded and said, "He is protecting our honor." Others said, "Wait, what did Traore actually say? Play the clip." And when they played it, views skyrocketed to 1 million in just hours. I was still in my hotel in Kingston, watching it all. But Jamaica, what really happened in your streets warmed my heart. At the University of the West Indies, students gathered right away. They chanted, "Traore spoke for us." In the Coronation Market, aunties selling yams said, "Him right dem thief we money fi hospital." Taxi drivers in Montego Bay played my speech on their radios, telling youth, "Listen, this African brother gets sense." In rural St. Anne, farmers shared it in WhatsApp groups. Subsidies gone missing. Traore exposed them. Even in churches, pastors preached, "The Bible says, let he who is without sin cast the first stone." By the first night of the ultimatum, protests started small but strong. About 100 young people gathered in Emancipation Park. They held signs that read, "Truth is not an insult," and "Build hospitals, not mansions." They sang Bob Marley's "Get Up, Stand Up." Police watched, but there was no trouble, just peaceful fire. The government panicked behind closed doors. A leaked memo said, "Control the narrative, call it a foreign attack." Their TV channel spun stories, "Traore hates Jamaica," but you saw through it all. My speech clips hit 5 million views. In Africa, it was a party. Youth in Ouagadougou danced in the streets shouting my name. In Senegal and Mali, they said, "One Africa, one fight." Even in Barbados, radio hosts asked, Is this an insult or a wake-up call? By hour 24 of the ultimatum, Parliament voted to demand the apology. Hollnes's allies pushed hard. Recall the ambassador from Burkina Faso, freeze any aid. But whispers grew louder. The people love him. One member of Parliament texted a friend. Traore said what we all know. Hollnes shot himself in the foot. The streets grew bigger. Now 1,000 people from Kingston to Spanish Town. Women marched saying, "We birthed this nation. We demand clean leaders." Youth rapped on corners. 48 hours. Truth got no clock. New songs were born that night. Traore No Sorry became a viral hit on every phone. I sat in my hotel room, smiling wide. I texted my team back home. Jamaica is waking up. Our job is done. As hour 36 hit, the tension was at its highest. Hollnes gave a second TV address. He was sweating a little under the lights. Midnight deadline approaches. No apology means action. But his eyes showed worry. Why? Because your protest swelled to 10,000 people. In National Heroes Park, it was a sea of faces. Placards everywhere. Apology won't feed our kids. Traore defends us. At the University of the West Indies, forums packed with professors and students debating, diplomatic bold move or genius truth. The students shouted, "Genius!" In the Portland parishes, fishermen brought their boats close to shore with banners, "Traore right, fix our ports." Civil society groups like Jamaicans for Justice held press meetings. We fought alone for years, now the world hears us. Petitions for an anti-corruption law gathered 50,000 signatures in one day. The media frenzy was everywhere. CNN called it Africa-Caribbean Clash of the Century. BBC said Traore's truth bombshell shakes Jamaica. Al Jazeera reported people power versus elite control. On Twitter, Traore's no apology trended with 2 million posts. In Africa, it was celebration time. In Ouagadougou, 20,000 filled a stadium chanting my name. In Dakar, youth painted murals, Traore solid with Jamaica. South Africa shared quotes in schools. Caribbean brothers joined in. Trinidad made a calypso song called 48 Hours Blues. St. Lucia radio debated, Hollnes versus truth, who wins? Cracks showed in your government. Leaked audio from a meeting captured the chaos. One minister shouted, protests everywhere, youth going wild. An ally said, call it a riot. But the chief advisor replied, no, they are peaceful. If we attack, we lose everything. Panic spread, Traore is now a hero to them. By hour 47, your streets were electric. Rain started falling, but people danced in it. An elderly uncle told a reporter, I marched in the 1970s, this is bigger. A nurse said, no gloves in our hospital. Traore spoke truth. A teacher added, 50 kids in my class, no chairs, yes to him. A farmer nodded. Seed money promised, vanished, we demand it back now. I was back in Burkina Faso by then. My team asked, what will you say? I replied, just watch. The world held its breath. Midnight struck. In Hollnes's office, clocks ticked loudly. No call came from me. Fury filled the room. Then I stepped up live from Ouagadougou. A simple podium, the Burkina Faso flag behind me. I wore my uniform, no drama, just a microphone. The whole world stopped to listen. People of Jamaica, brothers and sisters, I began softly. This is Ibrahim Traore. Your Prime Minister gave me 48 hours. I give you truth forever. I came to Jamaica as a friend. I saw your struggle. Corruption steals your future. I said it loud. Did I insult you? No. I insulted the thieves. Hospitals empty? Thieves did it. Schools broken? Thieves. Youth hopeless? Thieves. Truth does not bow to deadlines. I spoke for you, your right to clean leaders, jobs, health, hope. If speaking truth is a crime, I am guilty. But I will not apologize. I stand with the Jamaican people. Africa loves you. The Caribbean is united. Rise up, demand, build. One struggle. No sorry. Yes, justice. Jamaica is strong. I love you. I dropped the mic. The stream hit 10 million views instantly. Jamaica erupted in cheers. Cars honked through the streets. Unofficial fireworks lit the sky. Your protest jumped to 50,000 people chanting my name. The ultimatum was dead, buried under your voices. The day after, your government tried to spin it. Headlines screamed, Traore defies Jamaica, measures coming. TV said, sovereignty first, but you laughed it off. Why? Because the movement exploded bigger than ever. Marches spread nationwide, 100,000 people in total, all peaceful, singing redemption song. New signs read, we are Jamaica, not foreigners, and Hollnes, fix it or step aside. Youth organized fast, apps to coordinate protests, hashtag Jamaica Awake with 5 million posts. Women led huge groups, mothers united with 20,000 marching, our kids deserve better. Workers' unions called mild strikes, audit the budgets now. Then the leaks hit like bombs. Anonymous sources dropped audio of Hollnes' allies fighting. One voice said, he is a hero now, we look like fools. Documents showed $2 billion Jamaican dollars in ghost contracts, names of top ministers linked. Emails revealed, bury these reports before Traore's speech. Independent media jumped on it. RJR News ran, corruption files reopened after Traore's spark. Nationwide radio said, investigations start today. The Observer asked, people versus power, who wins? Civil society roared louder than ever. Transparency groups held press conferences. We demanded this for 10 years, now act. Churches gave sermons, truth sets you free. Universities held daily forums, reforms after Traore. Artists painted murals of my face everywhere with truth no apology. Reggae tracks dropped daily, 48 hours fire top charts. Even economy talk grew. Youth demanded, jobs plan now. Farmers said subsidies back to us. Nurses shouted, pay raises and supplies. Hollnes held a rally with 5,000 supporters. Thundering, no lectures from outsiders, but outside, 10,000 protesters chanted, we hear you, Traore. He yelled back, not by opportunists. The crowd replied, lecture, this is truth. Global support poured in. The United Nations said, peaceful protests strengthen democracy. The African Union declared, solidarity against corruption. CARICOM split. Some backed Hollnes, but most said, listen to the people. USA and Britain stayed quiet watching. China offered, support for Jamaica's stability. Africa had parades in my honor, speeches replayed in schools. Let me share your real voices from the streets. Tanya, a 35-year-old nurse, told a reporter, we have no bandages, Traore is right, the money is gone. Junior, a 20-year-old student, said, I am unemployed, but now I organize protest thanks to the captain. Mama Ruby, 70 years old, smiled. I have seen it all. This time we will win. Rasta Dread, a taxi driver, laughed. One love, one fight, eerie vibes. Farmer Joe added, seeds promised to us vanished. We demand it back now. By the end of the week, 200,000 people were mobilized. Petitions hit 500,000 signatures calling for a full anti-corruption commission. Jamaica, this is your victory. The ultimatum failed completely, but you won big. In Parliament, they called an emergency session. Members proposed a new anti-corruption bill, full audits of budgets, a youth jobs fund with real money. Hollnes said publicly, we hear the concerns of our people. Translation, he is scared. The ambassador was not recalled. Ties with Burkina Faso stayed strong. What I see now fills me with joy. Youth groups formed permanent committees, meeting weekly to plan. Media grew bolder, running investigations every day. Churches and unions built coalitions for change. Art festivals planned Truth Fest across the island. My message to your leaders is clear. Hollnes, listen well. The people are not your enemy. Serve them with clean hands, or step aside for those who will. To you, the people of Jamaica, here is my advice. Step by step, stay peaceful always. Your power is in calm, strong fire. Organize better, use apps, form groups in every community, prepare for the next election, demand specific things, $10 billion for hospitals, 100,000 new jobs, every school fixed with books and chairs, vote smart, check candidates, support only the clean ones, connect with Africa, let's trade, share skills, learn from each other. Burkina Faso will send experts in farming, solar power, anti-corruption training. Imagine your Jamaica tomorrow. Hospitals full of medicine, mothers safe giving birth, youth becoming CEOs, artists, farmers, staying home proud, farmers selling at fair prices, markets full of local food, clean leaders who fear the people, not the other way around. Music filling the world with albums called Jamaica Rising, churches packed with hope, schools buzzing with learning, streets safe and smooth. My promise to you is forever. Burkina Faso stands with Jamaica. I will visit soon, bring teams to help build. We will train your youth, share our farms, fight corruption together. From Ouagadougou to Kingston, one love, one struggle. Brothers and sisters, this story is not over. I lit the match with my speech, but you are the fire burning bright. The 48-hour ultimatum is history, but your reckoning has just begun. Remember my words, no apology for truth. Yes to justice. Truth endures forever. March peacefully. Sing your reggae songs. Demand what is yours. Build the Jamaica you deserve. I, Ibrahim Traore, love Jamaica with all my heart. I stand with you always. Shout it loud from every corner. No sorry. Yes, Jamaica. Rise up, my family. The world is watching, and you will win.
My fellow Jamaicans, brothers and sisters across the African continent, distinguished members of the international community, and most importantly, Captain Ibrahim Traore, President of the Transitional Government of Burkina Faso. I come before you with a heart that is heavy, but also open. I come not to speak as a man defending himself, but as a leader willing to acknowledge fault. And I come not to diminish my office, but to honor it by admitting a truth that all leaders at some point in their journey must face. Sometimes we misspeak, sometimes we misjudge, and sometimes we must apologize. Several weeks ago, in a live broadcast, I used the word dictator to describe Captain Ibrahim Traore. That single word has echoed far beyond my intention. It has stirred emotions, fueled debates, and created tension between Jamaica and Burkina Faso, two nations whose histories should unite them, not divide them. And tonight, I am here to say plainly and sincerely, I regret those words. I take responsibility for them, and I offer my heartfelt apology. When I spoke that day, I spoke with conviction. I spoke as a leader who believes deeply in the values of democracy, values that Jamaica has held close for decades. I spoke from a place of concern, but I failed to speak from a place of understanding. Conviction without compassion is dangerous. Principles without perspective can wound. And in calling Captain Traore a dictator, I crossed the line between principled critique and personal disrespect. It was not my role to reduce a fellow leader, especially one facing immense challenges in his homeland, to a single word that carries such weight, such judgment, and such finality. Yes, I believe in democracy. Yes, I believe in elections, in parliaments, in institutions that protect the will of the people. But I also believe in respect. Respect for the paths that nations choose. Respect for the burdens leaders carry. And respect for the struggles that shape their choices. Captain Traore, in my choice of words, I failed to extend that respect. And for that, I am sorry. To the people of Burkina Faso, you are a nation of resilience. You are a people who have endured colonization, coups, poverty, and the ongoing threat of violent extremism. And yet, you stand proud, you stand tall. You continue to fight for a future that is free, independent, and dignified. Your leader, Captain Traore, took power in a time of crisis. He is young, yes, but he is bold. He faces a reality most of us cannot imagine, an ongoing war with forces that seek to destabilize and destroy. While the world debates, he acts. While others hesitate, he makes decisions. I may not share his methods, I may not embrace his path, but I must recognize his courage. And I must respect the fact that his people look to him not only as a ruler, but as a symbol of their fight for sovereignty. When I labeled him a dictator, I failed to honor that reality. I spoke too quickly, too harshly, without the humility that every leader owes to another who walks the hard road of governance. My fellow Jamaicans, I also owe you this truth. Leadership is not about never making mistakes. Leadership is about admitting them when they happen and correcting them before they cause further harm. When I called Captain Traore a dictator, I did so with the belief that I was defending democracy. But in doing so, I risked damaging Jamaica's reputation as a nation of respect, as a nation that values dialogue over division, and as a nation that stands for unity among the peoples of the global South. We are a small island, but we are a proud one. Our voice on the international stage matters, and when we use that voice carelessly, the world listens not to our wisdom, but to our mistakes. Tonight, I want Jamaicans to know this. Your Prime Minister is not above apology. Your Prime Minister is not above reflection. And your Prime Minister is not too proud to say, I was wrong. To Africa, our ancestral home, our mother continent, I extend this apology with even deeper sincerity. Jamaica is tied to Africa by blood, by history, by spirit. The chains of slavery that bound our ancestors were forged in Africa. The songs of freedom that carried us through struggle were inspired by Africa. And the strength that keeps us alive today flows from the same river that nourishes you. How then could I, as the leader of a nation built on the resilience of Africans, use words that divide rather than unite? How could I, even in defense of democracy, fail to show empathy to a brother leader navigating storms beyond my imagination? I do not take lightly the pain my words may have caused across the continent, and I stand before you to repair, not to wound, to build, not to break. Some will ask, why apologize? Why retract words once spoken? Isn't it weakness? No, it is strength. It is strength to stand firm when you are right, but it is even greater strength to step back when you are wrong. Pride may win applause in the moment, but humility builds trust for generations. I apologize, not because I was forced, not because I was pressured, but because it is right, and because the relationship between Jamaica and Africa is too important to be clouded by careless words. Captain Traore, allow me to speak to you directly. I may not walk your path, but I respect the road you travel. I may not lead your people, but I respect the burden you carry. I acknowledge your courage in standing against forces that seek to weaken your nation. I acknowledge your determination to assert independence in a world where small nations are often pressured and dismissed. And I acknowledge that while we may disagree, I should never have dismissed your leadership with a single word. I extend my hand to you not as an adversary, but as a brother, not as a critic, but as a fellow leader. I hope you will accept this apology, not as weakness, but as an invitation to dialogue, to partnership, to mutual respect. What do I hope comes from this apology? I hope it sparks a deeper conversation between Jamaica and Burkina Faso. I hope it reminds the world that our nations, though small in size, are large in spirit and capable of setting an example of humility and reconciliation. I hope it reminds leaders everywhere that words matter, that we must wield them carefully, not recklessly. That in an age where every statement is amplified across the globe, humility is no longer optional, it is essential. And most of all, I hope it builds a bridge between Kingston and Ouagadougou, a bridge between the Caribbean and Africa, a bridge strong enough to withstand the storms of politics, built not on pride, but on respect. My fellow Jamaicans, citizens of Burkina Faso, members of the global community, tonight I stand before you not as a man without fault, but as a man willing to admit fault. To Captain Ibrahim Traore, I say again, I am sorry. To the people of Burkina Faso, I am sorry. To the people of Jamaica, I am sorry. To Africa, to the Caribbean, to the world, I am sorry. May we move forward not with resentment, but with reconciliation. Not with division, but with dialogue. Not with arrogance, but with humility. Because in the end, leadership is not about always being right. It is about always striving to do what is right. Thank you. May God bless Jamaica. May God bless Burkina Faso. And may God bless all nations striving for peace, dignity, and unity.
So guys, I hope that you have watched the video. You have seen the apology that was made by the PM of Jamaica. So guys, I've seen Jamaican are really complaining about their government. You know, the PM of Jamaica is calling out the president of Burkina Faso a dictator, but the Jamaican people are really complaining because they feel like there is bad governance in their country. On the other hand, many Africans, they are praising Ibrahim Traore. You know, Ibrahim Traore has really made some good changes in the world. You know, he has been named among the top 3 people who have really performed very well in developing the nation in Africa. So guys, I've seen some Jamaican are really complaining that there is bad governance. Like the PM has made his wife the speaker of the court. You have seen that's how dictatorships start. You know, Jamaican people are complaining that they feel like there is nepotism going on in their island. So calling out the president of Burkina Faso a dictator is very concerning. You have seen how Ibrahim Traore has transformed Burkina Faso. They have built good school, hospitals. Some hospitals are free. They have built new children's home, and the guy is really doing a good job at many African leaders they admire how he works, want to reach the level that he is. So guys, I think that African and Jamaican, we are all black, we are all one. We don't need like to fight each other online. We are all one. Jamaicans are black, we as African, we are black, and we are all one. We do love and we support each other, guys. You know, I've been telling you that Jamaica, you can never find Jamaica not supporting Africa. They always support Africa, and as Africa we do it back. Like we always support Jamaica. So we as Africa, we do love Jamaican, and me myself, I'm not happy seeing that Jamaica, like the PM of Jamaica, like they are like crossing words with the president of Burkina Faso. We all need, like, we need to be one. Like we need to love each other and have one, like have a good bond. So guys, I hope that all will be well. Like the negotiation, like I've seen that when the PM of Jamaican was doing the apology, I heard that he also gave out 600 million pounds, but the president of Burkina Faso refused. He said no, use that money to rebuild Jamaica. You've seen, that means that the president of Burkina Faso is a real deal. You see, he has refused the money, and he told the PM just use the money to rebuild Jamaica. He's a good leader, cannot be bribed, and he's setting out good goals. Like he's showing the world that how you should run the people, like how you should control the people. I've seen that Jamaican, you know, like Jamaican, the speaker is very biased. How can she turn off the mic of the opposition when he's addressing some agenda? That shows you that there is a practice of dictatorship. Like she knows that any agenda that passes, if she allows any agenda to pass through the court, it will hinder his husband on top. So she has to be dictator. Like if she sees that this agenda, if it passes, it's going to hinder his husband, she has to make it fail. We have seen that even she turned off the mic. Her work now is to favor his husband. But when guys, if a world is being run, like if the Jamaican is being run by a family, there will be no development. The development will be so rare because these people are focusing on themselves. They are focusing because they know that now we are on full control. We can control the people. My wife is the speaker. Nothing can happen. So guys, if it's your first time coming across my video, guys, feel free to share and comment. And for the returning one, guys, I want to appreciate you because you have come a long way in this journey. You have come a long way in this journey. So guys, we as Africa, we do love Jamaica, and I believe that Jamaica loves us, and we need to be one. We don't need to fight online. We need to be one. So guys, see you in the next video. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button so that you can see more of my videos. So guys, stay safe. Meet you on the next video. One love.